I love it.
Gotta love the boss.
That's definitely staying in, too. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Fans View podcast. I'm here at WrestleCade, and if you know me, you know I love me some Tulsa King and some Netflix and some wrestling, and who better than Mr. Mike Cash Flo Walden right here to have on the show. Mike, first of all, how are you doing, man? It's been a busy day over here.
Hey, it's been pretty chaotic. It's WrestleCade's a big thing, and what can I say? I'm glad to be a part of it. I'm glad to share it with my brothers and sisters, and I'm glad to be here.
Absolutely, we're glad to have you here.
Thanks, brother.
We're gonna jump right into it. When did the wrestling bug first, grab a hold to you? What's your earliest memory of being a wrestling fan?
Oh, kid age, 7, 8, 9. I was raised by grandparents, so I grew up in front of a television on my belly. Little floor model TVs. I'm trying to age myself. But, I've been a fan since I was a child. My grandfather introduced me, and, I've been doing it ever since. In some form or fashion, whether it be watching it, whether it be playing in the yard, or.
Right. So when did it become more than just a hobby to you? When did you decide that, professional wrestling was something you wanted to chase and this is what you wanted to do with your life?
Pretty early. I was one of the early ones that broke in. I'm just out of high school. In the state of Kentucky, you have to be 18. And that's pretty much when it started. I got out of high school looking for something to do. Went to a random wrestling show. Some guys in the neighborhood said, "Hey, you need to come watch this with us." That's when it hit me.
Gotcha. Hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah.
So obviously you were a part of the big Netflix documentary Wrestlers.
Absolutely.
That covered OVW. What was that bump in business like when that documentary came out? Was it palpable?
Oh, it was absolutely was. I think it was for wrestling as a whole. Wrestling had gotten a lot of press. OVW and of course myself and then the other guys. It was like a boom. We hit a stride there. We were already on the up. OVW had been pushing and grinding, and we had gradually, got to a point where, we were starting to do good business. And then when that documentary finally dropped, the rest is kind of history because, we've been selling out our arena and these house shows, and it's been pretty well. It's been pretty well received.
Yeah. And speaking of OVW, he was sitting next to us. He made a nice cameo at the beginning of the video.
He's the boss.
What's it like working beside a mind like Al Snow, who is so underappreciated in the professional wrestling business, but his mind is second to none?
I would agree with you, but underappreciated, I don't necessarily agree with that. I think the wrestling business has done really well by Al Snow. He's been grinding a long time, and he has helped numerous people. For me to get the opportunity to be under Al Snow's learning tree is, that's a lifetime opportunity. Not a lot of guys can say that. Although he has helped people, but to actually be under his tree, watch him how he navigates running a wrestling show. Watch him how he navigates putting stuff together, segment writing. Watching him navigate all the stuff that you don't necessarily see if he's in the ring training you. Because not only did I learn a lot from Al Snow as a wrestler, I learned a lot from Al Snow on how to teach wrestling as well. Working for the OVW Academy, working for Al Snow in that way has really helped me. It's helped me help the next generation underneath me. So, all around, it's been a really positive experience underneath Al Snow.
Yeah, I mean, Al is just underappreciated, might not be the word, because he is finally getting his flowers, it seems like.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, he's had good runs in all the major companies.
Right.
He's done pretty well for himself. He's been able to parlay that, and it takes somebody special. Not a lot of people can say that.
Yeah.
They get a good little run, and you don't know what happens to them after that. Al Snow has been able to consistently do what he's loved for years, 40-plus years,
yes.
And in my eyes, Al Snow will always get his flowers.
Absolutely. I love that answer because I just don't think Al Snow gets talked about quite enough.
You know what? And you're right. You're right. He doesn't. You know,
Speak-
he should be on that list. Definitely Hall of Fame worthy.
Took the next question right out of my mouth. It's a travesty that he's not there yet, but it's coming. It has to. You
Absolutely.
can't have a professional wrestling Hall of Fame and not have Al Snow in it.
I would agree. I would agree.
So we've talked about wrestling, and that's great, but this is what I'm here for, folks. So if you've watched Paramount Plus's Tulsa King, you've seen this big, brawny bully named Bigfoot.
With a smile.
With a smile, with a gun and a smile. How did the opportunity to join the cast of Tulsa King come along?
My agent, before the Netflix Wrestler show came out, I went out and got an agent, expecting a little bit more exposure with that show.
Yeah.
And, I was kind of thinking ahead, and, I went out for some roles. I've done some music videos. I've done some indie stuff. I've had a few little snippets of other things. And I got an email one day from my agent. It was the year after the Netflix Wrestlers come out, around March. I got an email from my agent saying there's a casting director wanting to know if Cash Flo, not my real name, they want to know if Cash Flo would read for this role. Well, I went and read for the role. They told me what it was. Of course, I was a big Tulsa King fan too. I loved the first season. All the characters are great. The writing is great. I mean, Terry Winters is an amazing writer. Wrote Sopranos. I didn't hear anything for about 3 weeks. Well, they initially told me that I was gonna, if I got the role, that I was gonna have to be on set, a certain date. Mm-hmm. Well, it was getting close to that date. It was a couple days out, and I called my agent and asked him, did I get the part? I didn't hear nothing back from him.
Right.
Well, a couple days later, it was the day before I was supposed to be on set. Well, I expected, I seen my phone. It was my agent calling, and I expected him to call me and say, you don't need to call us.
Right.
We'll let you know if you got the part.
Yeah.
This is not how that works.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't. They told me I got the part, and they told me that I needed to be 7-8 hours away and probably 12 hours. So, I had to get my stuff and hoof it where I had to get where I needed to go. And then they also told me, if you get a phone call from a number that you don't recognize from California, it'd be in your best interest to answer it.
Yes, sir.
Well, about 20 minutes later, I get a phone call, and Sly, reached out to me and told me, hey, I watched this wrestler show. You're a star. I'd like for you to let me change your life. And, it's been a whirlwind ever since. I'm so grateful for that guy.
I love that, because Sly is a self-admitted wrestling fan. So
Absolutely. And there was not a moment that he didn't tell me while we were on set filming that he was my biggest fan.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
So how do you get that?
Yeah. One day you're wrestling in Kentucky, the next you're on set with Sly Stallone.
What can you do?
The world's a crazy place, isn't it?
Absolutely. But like they say, there's a saying in wrestling, lightning in a bottle. I've been grinding, taking advantage of opportunities, and I finally got the opportunity that I needed,
Absolutely.
And I'm going to take full advantage of it.
And as you should. And you've done so well so far. Can we expect to see Bigfoot in season 3?
Wherever they want that character, like I said, they haven't officially announced those yet, and I'm not going to give any spoilers to season 2, but, there is still room for the Bigfoot character to grow and mature. They haven't even scratched the surface on that character. So,
Agreed.
We'll see what kind of stories they can put together. When Stallone, thanked the cast, he did say that he had some ideas for this Bigfoot character. So, we'll see how it goes. We'll see what kind of trouble that Bigfoot can get into, right?
Oh, I love it. We need the background on Bigfoot and a whole story arc just of Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Just of Bigfoot. So what was it like specifically with Stallone, being such a wrestling fan? Do you have any funny stories from on set, spending so much on-screen time with him?
You know what? I worked a lot. And me being who I am, I didn't really have time other than, getting to go and hang out with him in his trailer for a little while. He had, I just wanted to sit and listen. That's what you do.
Yes.
To somebody that you want to mimic, or somebody that you want to learn from. You just sit and you listen to how they talk about what they talk about. And that was kind of the situation for me. I wanted to, because in that business, I'm a greenhorn. You know, I might have been wrestling for 30 plus years, but you know, in that particular entertainment game, I was a greenhorn, and all I wanted to do was sit and listen. I don't really have any funny stories because it was all business.
Yeah.
We laughed and we cut up, you know, but we wanted to put out the best product that we could, and we wanted to give the directors and the producers and you know, Paramount Plus and casting and all that. We wanted to give them the best experience that we could, you know, letting us be on set. And you know, I just wanted to learn as much as I could from that guy because he's been there, done that. And that's where he is, where I want to be at his age. So
yeah, he's definitely the upper echelon of upper echelon.
Absolutely.
So you haven't gotten an idea yet of when you guys might start filming season 3 or anything like that?
I mean, I've heard rumors and innuendos. You know, there just hasn't been anything official.
Nothing definitive.
Nothing official out from Paramount Plus. You know,
Okay.
I've heard anywhere from January to March. I mean, you know, you hear a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But until it's made official, until they contact, you know, I'll treat it as such.
Right.
You know, I'm not going to put anything. Like I said, I'm not going to put my name. This is when it's happening.
Right. Yeah.
You know, I'll take it as it comes, and you know, we'll see what we can do with it.
You can tell you're not a greenhorn anymore. You know the business.
I've been around the block a time or two.
So with that said, Mike, I love to ask everyone this question. Excuse me. What do you like to do outside of the ring? This is the Fans View podcast. So when you're not on set and you're not in the ring, what are you a fan of?
I'm a family guy. I like hanging out with my family, although I don't get to do, you know, a lot of the stuff I want to with them. You know, just sitting around the house and hanging out with my family. I'm a gym rat, so of course I get my gym time and any kind of stuff that I can do. Get out with my, you know, I like to cook, and you know, I'm a dad, and you know, doing dad stuff is what makes me happy.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times, you know, my kids are at the age now that they're, you know, on their computers, talking to their friends and doing all that stuff. So it's just me and the wife. We'll sit around, watch TV. You know, watching TV is a little different for me now.
Yeah, I bet
you know,
so.
now it's like you know, it's kind of like research. You know, you wanna see how this goes. You know, and you see some of the behind the scenes, and you start nitpicking stuff.
Yeah.
So you know, it's a little different experience. But you know, me and my wife and kids, we also like to do stuff in the community. Like we were at the Pride Center there in Louisville, Kentucky the other day. We went and had Thanksgiving there. You know, we like to do community stuff too. You know, that's a big part of our lives. We like to give back as much as we can.
Bigfoot has a heart, folks.
Absolutely does. Absolutely.
So, most importantly, this is the question that I absolutely love to ask, and I can't wait to ask you. At this stage of your life, at your career, what does the term success mean to you?
What does the term success? There's a lot of success is very relative to the person. You know, I understand he worded that very well.
Yes.
Because success is very relative to the person. It's really all about what the person deems successful.
Yes.
Okay. I always said I wanted to be financially stable, and I wanted to wrestle for a national company. Okay. Honestly, acting wasn't in, you know, my long term, you know, when I was younger.
Yeah.
But as I got older, I realized that acting is what professional wrestling is. And that part of the industry is a natural evolution to what professional wrestling is. You just don't have to beat yourself up so much.
Right.
You have to do some, but just not so much. So, you know, working for a national wrestling company. You know, I've done that. I've been doing that. You know, financially stable. I'm getting there. Okay. Spending as much time with my family as possible. Absolutely. That's what success looks like to me. You know, I'm making that work.
I couldn't have asked you for a better answer than that, man. So this has been so much fun. I can't thank
Appreciate
you enough.
it, Jared.
I just want to gush all over you and tell you how great you are.
Take it easy, Jared.
We're gonna cut this thing a little bit short. Where can people get a hold of you on social media, though, to tell you how great Bigfoot is?
Man, all my social medias are all at Cash Flo Wrestler, okay? I'm set up on Cameo. Just find me at Cash Flo if you need a good shout-out. I got a YouTube if you want to watch some of my wrestling stuff. I got even some clips from Tulsa King that you might not see. You can find me. It's under Cash Flo. Oh, you can go to my shop, chopshopwrestling.com, CHOP wrestling.com. You can catch some cool Cash Flow merch. I got a few Bigfoot T-shirts on there, pictures. You can check that out as well if you're looking for any Cash Flow swag. I do ship, so you ain't got to worry about that. Just find me Cash Flow Wrestler. Send me messages. I always try to message people back that send me messages,
I love that. Well, we appreciate you taking the time,
Hey,
man.
thank you, Jared.
You're a busy man.
Yeah.
I know you are.
Hey, it's WrestleCade. Everybody's busy.
That's right. Well, until next time, folks, don't forget, call your mom.
If you haven't liked or subscribed, you're going to be joking me.